Hey guys, and welcome to another energy update. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about this upcoming new moon, which is also a solar eclipse, and we're going to be diving into Mercury retrograde. And make sure you stay tuned till the end because we will be doing a pick a card moon message for what you need to know during this moon cycle. So in today's video, I've got 5 things to talk about. Actually, we've got 6. We've got a bonus since we've got a lot going on. We've got 6 things to talk about during this moon cycle, so let's jump on in. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about during this new moon season is, let's go over basics, right? New moon, April 20th, and it's in Aries. It's also a solar eclipse. Why is this solar eclipse different than any other one? Because it's actually a hybrid solar eclipse, meaning from part of the world, it will be visible as a total solar eclipse, and other part of the world, it will be visible as an annular solar eclipse. So depending where you're at, you will see one or the other. This is why they call it a hybrid. Now, the last time we had a hybrid solar eclipse was in 2013. And the next time we will have a hybrid solar eclipse will be in 2031. So a rare phenomenon happening here on April 20th. So what is a solar eclipse? Well, it's when the moon passes between the earth and the sun. And so what it does is it blocks views of the sun from earth, whether it's partially or full, depending on where you're at, it will block the sun. So that's the first thing I want to talk about, so you guys know that we also are entering into eclipse season starting on April 20th, and we will have a lunar eclipse that follows on the full moon of May 5th. So stay tuned, and we'll talk all about that one as well. The second thing I want to talk about is this is the second Aries new moon in like 30 days. The last new moon we had, which was roughly almost 30 days ago, was an Aries one. Normally around this time we are entering into Taurus season. So there's usually a new moon in the sign we're entering. But we're having 2 Aries moons back to back. So what does that say? So a couple things to me. One, they're something that was not yet finished about a month ago. You're almost getting a second chance to do it, but with this do-over, right, the universe opened a opportunity portal for growth at that time. It was a fresh start. We were just in the spring equinox. We went into the new astrological year, the new seasonal year, and all this new energies. And for those who didn't jump in that portal and start working with that new creation fertile energy, the universe is going to give you a second chance, but there's a but with it. Because we're still in the spring equinox, right? So there's still new creation energy attached to it. But you're going to jump in it during this new moon in Aries. It might be a little bit more difficult because we have the shadow work to get through. It won't be as challenging as trying to do it later in the year, but it's not going to be as easy as it was a month ago, because it's like, hey, I offered you this grand gold ticket and you didn't want it, so now you get a silver, right? But how you get the silver is you might have to do a little bit of work. So the moon is going to shadow over the sun, and so that is the shadow work that I'm talking about. Emotions might be running a little bit higher at this time, and it's a little bit deeper work, but doesn't mean you can't push through it. So this almost is like a second chance. It's kind of like a redo energy, only in the sense is the universe is like, hey, I'm about second chances. The universe is actually about all kinds of chances. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. They don't care how many chances you have. The universe only cares about resilience. So the universe was trying to get us to start something big, whatever it was, or maybe it was small, but they wanted us to start something new on that new moon in Aries. And some of us, maybe we didn't do it. So some of us are getting second chances. So this is actually a beautiful opportunity to say thank you, universe. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, Aries energy. Thank all the energy. So we get to relaunch something, start something, a brand new, whatever it is you're working on. Just think new energy because it's creation energy. So let's talk about that. And then I also want to talk about Aries. Aries, we might have 7 things. Let's see. There's so much to say. Let's do it that way. Yep. So the third thing I want to talk about is Aries. Aries, what else is going on with this Aries new moon? Well, Aries rules the head, the face, up here, right? The skull, the brain, all this stuff. Aries starts here. You go all the way to the end of the zodiac, so you get to the feet as Pisces, right? So these are beginnings. This is the beginning. But also, so anything going on with the head, the face, the teeth, the ears, eyes, stuff like that might be affected a little bit more, good or bad, just highlighting the energies of the face and the head. But also with this, I want to say something about social media, because if you think about when you go on and see somebody's profile picture, it's usually like a headshot. So it's like, you just see the face usually, right? And so there is highlighting of social media energies. Some of it might be entangled with the Mercury retrograde, which I will touch on in a second, but that could have some wonky stuff. But again, it could be acceleration for growth. So there is no good or bad with this one. There's going to be both energies depending on where you polarize, because where you're at in your own life with your own blocks and your own obstacles. Because with the Aries energy and this new creation energy, the social media, like let's say you work on social media, right? Like me, all of a sudden you plant that seed and you water it around this time, your social media could blow up, right? All of a sudden you get a viral video, or you sign a new client, or whatever it is, or you get a bunch of new friends, or you create an event and it sells out, or like whatever works. Your business page all of a sudden makes a bunch of sales, whatever it is, can polarize really good. So it's like the face of the account, that's you, all of a sudden could be accelerating. But what I want to say on the shadow side, right, is because we're going into Mercury retrograde, it is communication, electronic stuff could be a little bit wonky. So things might be like malfunctioning or glitching, or it could be a slow energy. But the social media is highlighted at this time. So I want to leave that as the third thing. And then we'll get into the fourth thing. The fourth thing I want to talk about is, like I said, we're going into Taurus season the day after this new moon, the day after this solar eclipse. So this is a slowing down energy. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is the first zodiac sign. Aries wants to go. It's fast. It wants to accelerate. It wants to start. It wants to create. Taurus will slow you down, because what happens is we start going too fast. Sometimes when you have too much momentum, you actually can't get anywhere, because sometimes you just go round and round and round. You're like, why am I not getting anywhere? I'm like, you're going too fast. You need to slow down. So the next sign is Taurus, because it wants you to slow down. It's an earth sign. It's very grounded. Taurus rules. Energy that will be affected this time is home, love, and finances. But what I want to say is there's also this rebirthing energy when we go into Taurus season. Again, if you plant the seeds and you're working with that creation energy of the new moon in Aries, your seeds or your rebirth is going to be huge, right? Versus someone who's just like, well, okay, I didn't really do anything in the Aries. There is still a rebirthing energy with Taurus, okay? There's a letting go energy as well in the collective that I'm going to talk about a little bit more when we get into another point. But what I also want to say is if you have any decisions to make, I would wait and hold off until you're out of the Aries moon and into the Taurus moon, which, again, it's the day after we go into Taurus season. The moon will go into Taurus. So hold off making decisions then. Things could be affected. Home, work, love, finances, stuff like that. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, the fifth thing. Sorry, I was renumbering these, so I make sure I numbered them correctly. The fifth thing I want to talk about is what chakra is going to be affected during this time. Well, the root chakra will be the most affected for a bunch of different reasons. The root is relating with Aries energy, it's relating with Taurus energy, and it's relating with fresh starts and new energy and creation. It's the first chakra, right, in the 7 set. And also to be very grounded during this time. Eclipse seasons can be very heavy, and a lot of emotions can come to the surface. A lot of darker energies, the shadow. Not like darker energy like somebody's out to get you, but your shadow, right? That's what I mean by the darker energies, because we all have light and dark. The dark is just our shadow, our ego, our mind, stuff like that. So it's really important to stay grounded, right? Going back to basics, what works to keep you grounded, keep you centered. And when, again, working with the zodiac signs, again, Aries is the first one, Taurus is home and stuff like that. So foundational energies, root chakra, support it, work with it, nurture it, stuff like that. The root chakra is the one that will be the most sensitive. And the most one that not only needs to work with, but if you work with it, it'll probably balance out the rest of the chakras. So doing some root chakra exercises, breathing exercises, meditations, yogas, whatever you can to work with the root chakra and stay grounded, or just simple grounding exercises. Those work well too, right? So the sixth thing I want to talk about is, which I kind of touched on a little bit, but this eclipse. So this eclipse that we're starting eclipse season, like I said, this eclipse expected to bring in unexpected change. Like expected. It will happen. Unexpected change. Now, what does that mean? Because something unexpected could be rather good, but something unexpected could still be, oh my God, that's horrible, right? Or I guess it's your perception. But there is no good or bad with this, but there is something unexpected happening. So if you can expect anything during this time, expect the eclipse to do it, okay? It's illuminating parts of our shadow. So that's why I said the shadow work will be really heavy. It's almost like this forceful, necessary change. So if you've been fighting any change, there's something you haven't wanted to let go of, you haven't wanted to move on, you've been in denial, you've known your truth, but you haven't been ready to make that next step, the universe is going to come in and say, hey, like, if you don't make this change, I'm going to make it for you, right? It's this energy of like, you've been trying to force something. You've been trying to put a square block into a triangle hole, and it hasn't been working. And you know it doesn't work, but you keep trying to shove it in there. Well, the universe is going to take away that square and give you a triangle to make it fit. Unexpected change. There will be something happening. So what do you need to let go of? Whatever you need to let go of will be finally letting go to moving forward. Because again, this one's new energies of creation and rebirth. So there's a huge energy of letting go and moving on in this. God, the rebirth energy is just really strong in the collective. So that's what's going on with this particular eclipse that we're having. And then the seventh thing I want to talk about is, did I go over them all? Let me see. Sorry, I got two sets of numbers here. I threw in an extra at the last minute. Spirit was giving me a message, so I was like, we got something else to talk about. So the last thing we got to talk about, let's just say that. The last thing we got to talk about is Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde happens 3 to 4 times a year. I'm sure you guys know it. Of all the planets that go retrograde, everybody knows Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules communication, electronics, stuff like that, okay? So it starts April 21st, literally the day after the new moon, literally the day after the solar eclipse, literally the same day as Taurus season, okay? And it'll go on until May 14th. There is a pre-shadow. We've already been in it. We're in it now. You might start feeling some energies now. It happens a couple weeks before, and there will be a post-shadow. It will happen a couple weeks afterwards. So even if you're already feeling like things are going wonky, your phone just, you're having issues and glitches, or your TV or your laptop or anything electronic, even the lights flickering, it doesn't even have to be devices, but just electricity, stuff like that, communication, just be aware it's a short temporary thing, not to freak out. I'm one of those people who, some people are like, well, don't travel and don't do this and don't do all that stuff on Mercury retrograde. Why? Do you know how many times you have Mercury retrograde a year? And the pre-shadow and post-shadow, you add all that up, it's like 6 months out of the year. What I see in Mercury retrograde is just prepare, dot your I's, cross your T's. You know, you'll be fine. Read the fine print. You guys can travel. You can buy a new home or electronic devices or whatever you want. All of that stuff. I'm literally like, am I going to be traveling? Yeah, I'm going to be traveling during that time. I'm not going to let that stop me, right? So it's just make sure you double check stuff and you'll be fine. The other thing about, so electronic travel, yeah, we went over that. And communication. Okay, so communication, make sure you're communicating clearly and honestly with people. Make sure you're having that open line of discussion, because communication can go in your favor. Again, there's no good or bad in this energy, but usually with Mercury retrograde, communication gets really wonky and people stop talking, or they're fighting for no reasons. They don't know why. Mercury rules the throat chakra. It rules the communication, right? Even the Lovers of Gemini energy and tarot's attached with it. It's an air sign. It's all up in the clouds and it's a little like aloof, right? It's not very grounded. And so just making sure, again, grounded plans. But if any communication is going, you're not communicating well with your partner, your friend, your boss, whoever it is, hey, you got the upper hand because you know it's just Mercury retrograde. So you can walk away, take a couple deep breaths, and come back with that level, clear head to talk things out, because you're like, okay, one of us has got to be grounded because we both up here, we're not hearing each other, it's not going to work. So you come down here and then you bring them down here to your grounded state, okay? The other thing, Mercury retrograde, always happens. Exes come back, but they don't stay. People reach back out from your past, but they don't stay. All of a sudden, it's going to go one or two ways. Either your ex is going to reach back out to you, all of them, one of them, some of them, none of them, I don't know, somebody, right? But it's not the time to get back with your ex, because most likely they're not going to stay. You know, I would say they'd be gone by June. So, but you may start having feelings for an ex. You can't get over your ex. Start crushing on them again for no reason. Not a time to reach out to them, because again, this too shall pass. And you're going to be like, man, I dodged a bullet. I'm so glad I didn't reach out to them. Because if you do, you might be like, oh, got myself in that same situation again. They haven't changed, and like, why did I reach out? So just being aware, Mercury retrograde does bring back past energies. It brings back a lot of past, but usually, sometimes, yeah, it's past love as well. Okay, so those are all of the things we need to talk about this energy update. So now we're going to jump into a pick a card moon message. So I want you guys to decide on a number between 1 and 3. Whatever number you're mostly, whatever number you are pulled to the most will be the message that has the strongest meaning for you. So it will have timestamps in the description of the video. And if you chose card number 1, here's your moon message during this new moon season, this eclipse season. Let's see what we got. Maybe some hesitation. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. Ooh, I've seen this card, but I've never noticed that it says mutable moon. So I do want to highlight that because everything's relatable, just as the cards didn't want to come out. There's some hesitation, not sure what to do, okay? A couple things with that. Hesitation, yeah. So you might be hesitant to walk away, and this is the time to do that, to let go. Or get back with somebody, right? Whatever it is, that rebirthing energy, something. Maybe it's not even getting back. Maybe like there's just pause energy. It doesn't even have to be romance. Like whatever it is, I was trying to look for a new job. I was trying to start a new business. I was trying to find a new home. Like, I don't know. I always say bigger energies. It doesn't have to be something so big. But whatever this is, like nothing yet is set in stone yet. So if you think you missed an opportunity, you missed a chance, like this is over, no, it's not. And maybe you haven't even made up your mind yet about something or someone, whatever it is. Nothing yet is set in stone. So this is neither free will or fate, because they're going to come together for the final decision. So no, again, the energy of second chances, as we talked about with that Aries new moon, nothing yet is set in stone. So don't freak out thinking this person left, I lost the job opportunity, I'm never going to get the dream house, or like whatever you're thinking about, nothing yet is set in stone. And I do want to highlight this, since it does say mutable moon, you might be dealing with a mutable zodiac sign. So we have fixed, mutable, and cardinal signs, right? Or that could be you, but I just want to highlight that because I've never noticed that before. Okay. All right. If you chose card number 2, then here is your moon message. Beautiful. Have faith in your dreams. Waxing crescent moon. So again, energy is gaining momentum with the waxing. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up before the miracle happens. Still have faith. Trust the process. Release control and surrender to the divine. Whatever is happening is happening exactly as it should. So don't walk away. Don't give up. Don't turn your back, because it's not time yet. Again, after the 21st, you might see things differently. Again, as I said earlier, don't make any decisions until after the 21st. So when energies get more grounded, we get into Taurus season, the moon's in Taurus, you might go, oh, okay, I now know what to do. More clarity. So hold on. Have faith. Your game's not over. The referee just called a timeout. It's not over yet, so hold on. Sit your butt down and take the timeout, okay? You may get a little penalty timeout. You're playing a little rough with the universe, but you go sit in your timeout box, and the universe is like, okay, don't give up. Just hold on. Hold on. Have some faith, and don't give up. Okay. If you chose card number 3, then this is your moon message. Wow, violent. A lot of cards came out. You know, there was like 5 cards. So I am going to give this another little shuffle. Again, the cards always give us energy. Like we saw the hesitation. This is a little bit of friction. But since 5 cards came out, 5 is the number of change, which will happen when we get into the month of May. That's all about change. 5s are also conflict, okay? So who are we in the conflict with? There we are, our own worst enemy. Is it stuff in our head? Is it another person? But let's get a card so we can actually get the message. Beautiful. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon and Taurus. Interesting, because technically, I don't know if I should say technically because it's like a literal thing, because the moon changes its sign every 2.5 days, and it usually lines the new moon in Taurus as we're getting into Taurus season. So this to me is an alignment energy, or lack of alignment energy, which would mean when things are not in alignment, but you want it now and you wish it were happening right now, and why aren't things working out, and you feel like you're in this instead of in divine energies, the universe is probably protecting or preventing you from something worse, right? And so they're actually probably working with you. Everything is just as it should be. The card says prosperity lies ahead. Again, okay, things might be in fluctuation. There might be some conflict, that 5, but guess what? With that conflict, you will eventually get to change. Things will change in your favor. So things are actually happening exactly as they should. This is the divine timing energy. And this is, oh, I don't know what they're protecting me from or preventing something worse, but I don't need to know. I know that I'm okay and I'm safe in this moment, whatever's happening. Again, energies are panning out right as they should. Prosperity lies ahead. Again, you might have some connection to the second person, the second card, because again, it's the energy of like, trust the process, right? You might even be dealing with some stubborn energies. We got the Ram and the Taurus energies. I'm sorry, that's the Aries. Yeah, but Taurus are a little stubborn. Yeah, so there is some conflict that could be happening, but don't worry, because it will all work out in the end. Okay. All right, guys, so that wraps up our energy update, and thank you guys so much for watching. And if you got anything out of this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. This way I know you got something that resonated. If you guys haven't even subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a bell too. You'll want to hit the bell and turn on all notifications, because I don't want you guys to miss out on any upcoming messages. That next message just might be the message that you need to hear today. All right, my loves, thanks so much for watching. Till next time, be blessed.